It ought to concern every person because it is a debasement of our common humanity. I'm talking about the injustice, the outrage of human trafficking, which must be called by its true name, modern slavery.
Welcome to the dystopian world of Wither, where genetic engineering has created a world where the human race has no disorder or illness. But there's a catch. Each new generation is affected by a virus which kills males at age 25 and females at age 20. To keep the population strong, young girls are kidnapped and forced into polygamous marriages or sold into prostitution. A street orphan named Ryan is kidnapped, and we get to follow her journey into a life of despair as she becomes a wife against her will. Ryan longs to escape and live the life she desires. During her time at her new home, she befriends servants of the house, and they begin to work together to seek their freedom. The fictional issue of slavery in Wither is a reality for millions of people in our world today. In fact, it is a reality that is often not recognized, but it should be, for it has an enormous grasp on global society. The United Nations definition of modern-day slavery can be used to highlight three distinct forms of slavery seen in our world and in Wither: forced marriage, sex trafficking, and forced labor. The realities of forced marriage and sex trafficking are first mentioned when Ryan is kidnapped off the street. She is awaiting her fate when she narrates, "Now it's my turn. I know girls disappear, but any number of things could come after that. Will I become a murdered reject? Sold into prostitution? These things have happened. There's only one other option. I could become a bride on the arm of a wealthy man." In our world, too, this covert crime is far too common. Globally, there are an estimated 4.5 million sex-trafficked individuals. The Tahirih Justice Center reported at least 3,000 suspected forced marriage cases in the U.S. alone between 2009 and 2011. On the other hand, forced labor affects 20.9 million people in the world. Forced labor is the work of a person under threat and against their will. In Wither, this appears to be the case for many of the servants that Ryan meets. They are threatened by violence to be controlled, and some are even abused. One slave named Gabriel was purchased at an auction at a young age, and now he cannot become free. The auction block slave trade is not eradicated from our world either. Recently, there has been a lot of news coverage about the Libyan slave trade, and the attention is well-deserved. Horrifying statistics accompany a sickening video that was released last month, showing a man being sold as quote-unquote merchandise for $400 US. This video proves that severe injustice and dehumanization still exist in the modern world today. Modern-day slavery is an issue that is sometimes easy for the Western world to ignore. Although it happens more often than realized in Western countries, the majority of these crimes happen overseas in economically poor and developing nations. So, what can we do to combat human trafficking? Shop slave-free. Prioritize where you spend your money. Support ethical businesses with transparent supply chain information. Make sure your money does not support free or forced labor. Volunteer. There are always ways to make a difference in your own city. Check out the anti-slavery directory online at endslaverynow.org. Put in your zip code and find organizations nearby with which you might be interested in volunteering. Support organizations that directly fight modern-day slavery. Reputable organizations such as Free the Slaves and the Polaris Project are always taking monetary donations. Other organizations like the IMO are working in Libya right now to protect migrant rights. Hosting a casual fundraiser dinner will raise awareness of modern-day slavery and raise money to collectively donate at the end of the night. Together, we can end modern-day slavery.